Hey, my wonderful Aries Divine Feminine Placements. Christina here with Ginger Mama Tarot, coming at you with your extended month of October Tarotscope. Before we get into the astrology, I am an Aries sun, so I always it's a thing when you're a reader where you're like, I don't want to put any like bias in this, but I tried so hard with reflecting, and all that kept coming in for me, this image of just someone like, yeah, the train's going off, I swear, but this image of someone just like throwing their hands up in the air and shrugging, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I feel like that is kind of where your energy is right now. You're like, it's like you get it. This whole new earth thing, this whole new cycle, you've rebirthed yourself or you're working on it. And we have the magician here. You know the magic's real. You know the universe and God is real. And you're great at manifesting, but it's like you're in full surrender. You're like, I forgive and I forget from the past. But this feeling of like, what's the point if other people can't do that? Like, what, like, I feel like this philosophical, like, month for you of like, what is the purpose of my experience here on this planet in relation to others, right? I mean, we got a lot of energy coming in, especially for Aries placements this month. But it's like, I feel like you found like who you are, but now you're frustrated because you're like, it feels like nobody else knows who they are. And I know Aries energy, you know, you really crave truth, right? That's the number one thing. If you have Aries placement heavy in your chart, is you just want the truth. If you're great at forgiving, you're loyal, whatever, but if you don't have truth and clarity, ho ho ho, like, watch out, right? Like, you have Aries placements. Look at that, Queen of Wands. You can get angry, you can get fiery, you can get very upset and defensive because you're like, you're very good, your intuition at knowing when you're being lied to or told half truths. And so for many of you, you know, as we start out this month, thank God we're out of retrograde. Reflect on that a bit, especially with your finances or work. Anything that came up in that time could be around relationships as well. But divine feminine placements, you know, Mercury is going direct here. It did on the 2nd. And we're at this place now where communication is very direct. And I feel like you're in this energy of like, if people aren't going to be direct with me, like, you know what I mean? It's like that shrugging of the feeling. I don't know what to call it, but let me know in the comments, guys. But the 3rd through the 8th, we have Pluto direct in Capricorn, which again is bringing up our deepest buried selves. Like, it's asking the question, will you do the actual work to enact real tangible change in your lives? And so for some of you, this is about money. For some of you, it's like the work of like this 5 of Pentacles. As we're talking about this, it's like many of you have this scarcity mindset, possibly around finances or a job, but also around like others, where it's like this scarcity mindset of like, they're never going to get there, are they? Like, I've held space for them. I understand we're all in different timelines, but at some point, why isn't this happening, right? And understand Aries is the beginning of the zodiac wheel. So depending on where your placements are, like, sometimes with that cardinal energy, it's like you're moving forward into ideas where other people have, you know, their own timeline. And I get it. You're like, I'm trying to hold space for that, but like, like, what do I do? Only hang out with other Aries? Like, you know what I mean? It can be difficult for you to relate with others who are just a little bit different in how they're going through their journeys, or they're not tapping into that cardinal drive within them, so to speak. So be on the lookout then. The 3rd through the 8th is also a great time to really reevaluate connections. Are you in imbalanced friendships or love dynamics? If you or someone you love, if it's not equal give and take, it's got to go. It's got to go. And just trust it'll circle around in due time. And obviously, like, we have times where, you know, we're going through a lot, we can't communicate with someone. We need to just say that to a family, a friend, a lover, like, hey, look, I'm going through a lot right now. I'm emotionally drained. I know many of you are, right? And you're like, I can't invest in this right now. But it's about speaking the truth, right? Which I know you're good at, Aries, but I feel like many of you are feeling like other people aren't doing that back to you. And so you're frustrated. Yeah. It's like, I know you're out partying. I know you're out doing this. Like, I know you're lying. And so I just feel like this like reaction where you're just like, I head against a wall, right? So don't be in that energy. I want you this month, I think Source is trying to say, like the 3 of Cups, celebrate your own accomplishments, celebrate your own success. Celebrate. I think there are new friend, soulmate kind of connections coming in for a lot of you, but there is this like aversion to trust that, right? You've been burned so much that you're kind of like, do do I go down this cycle? And then many of you, if you're further along on your healing journey, you kind of, that feeling of like, I don't want to be that for somebody else, right? Divine feminine energy is always over giving, right? And you're there for everyone. And so you're stalled out because you're like, wait, masculine energy coming into my life, are they going to be loyal and stable and steadfast? And we have the King of Pentacles here. So maybe you're also in that masculine energy of holding that, of understanding that need that we all have for stability, security within our lives. On the 9th, we build up to the full moon in Aries. In Aries, guys. So Libra season is the opposite of Aries on the zodiac wheel. So that's why, we have this full moon rolling in. And Aries energy is I am. But Libra energy is about duality and balance. And so it's asking yourself, what have I done to work on my I am? But how is that in service to others around me? Is it balanced? Yeah, the train's confirming. Are there certain connections I need to, re-step into or keep at a distance? And I would encourage you, if it's someone that completely ghosted, ran from you, refused to speak with you, that you keep distance there. Clearly that was a boundary they set, especially if you asked for communication and it was not provided to you. But if you have a friend or family member that, you just took space for a little bit, maybe tap back in with that. Again, this idea of who do we want to keep in our circle and who do we want out for good. And yeah, the Devil reversed. It's like, you've done a great job. You are genuine in trying to heal yourself, to break ties to obsessive thoughts or feelings. And maybe some of those are going to creep back in a little bit. This obsessive, like, it feels like philosophical headspace of like, again, that purpose, like, what is the purpose? And so don't get too wrapped up in that rabbit hole right now. Understand that's just the energy, and you need to keep moving forward and just sharing your gifts as source guides you to do. The 14th through the 22nd, we have Venus in Libra, trine Saturn in Aquarius, and Mercury is also moving into Libra. So a lot more balanced, gentle communication, a lot more duality in our conversations with those around us. And so I feel like, as we build up to this full moon, it's going to be a little rocky. There is stuff to release still, right? And any residual anger, frustration, just about people in your life that refuse to be truthful, channel that on your own. Don't reach out to them, okay? Do not reach out to them. I get it, guys. We've all done it. But don't go leaving the voicemail or the text or freaking out. Yeah, train confirming. This is the time for you to channel with source. Do not communicate. Look, I cannot make this up. 8 of Wands reversed. Do not communicate with them. This is for you at home. Shake a water bottle, dance, get a punching bag. This is how you heal yourself. You channel that feeling of, why is it that I'm not worthy of someone telling me the fucking truth, and tap into that. Understand that your anger that you're holding right now is a form of self-protection because you've been hurt so many times. And so it's about harnessing that and understanding that we can't just take it out on others, because it will lead to progressive violence or even possibly abuse. I mean, Aries in their full wounded self is someone that could do that, right? All sign placements have wounded and healed sign placement. And so ask yourself, how can I channel this anger in a healthy way? That would be through exercise. That would be with source. That would be through channeling for the collective. These trains will not stop. Maybe trains are significant for you this month, okay? But be really honest with yourself. I mean, I know most of you, just like me, you're not like abusing anyone. But at the same time, you do express anger at times when you feel like your emotional needs are not met. It's like a friction there. You're like, but you're not giving what you kind of said, right, that you would give. Your actions are not aligning with what you're doing, or your words are not aligning with your actions. And so again, look at this. Lay the burden down, Divine Feminine. Queen of Wands here. It's like building up to this full moon. Release once again. Release once again with source. Take a piece of paper. Write out all the people, places, things that made you angry. Everything you can think of that you're angry about. Reread it to yourself and say, I'm not holding this. These people want me to be angry. They want me to not succeed. They want me to blow up and get upset so that they can feel better about the lies they told to me or the way they treated me. Understand that's what they're trying to do, because they know if you express anger, especially publicly, that it makes you look weak. And see, they feel like they're stronger when they're not in their emotions. And you can channel this in a healthy way, okay? Don't juggle the opinions of others. Don't let them creep in. Look at this, the 5 of Wands. Many of you might be feeling energetic conflict around you, and you're just like, I don't want this. I don't get this. Yeah, 10:01 on my timer as I say that. Stay out of it. Don't engage right now, okay? Feels like a month where you're really going inward a little bit, okay? And many of you might maybe feel like you've been doing that a lot lately, but it's like there's I feel like a spiritual upgrade or awakening you're about to have. The Queen of Swords here, as long as you're upholding strong boundaries. People from your past, if they reach back out, great. Like I said, the 14th through the 22nd, great time to listen, to talk. It can be a time of reconciliation. But for many of you, it's that feeling of there isn't anything there, right? Like, how could I access love or connection within a dynamic I was so burned by, right? Like, fire's powerful, but at the same time, when someone fuels your fire and they're like, we love you, we care about you, and you're excited, and then they completely put it out, it's like, how do you restart the fire? It's wet, it's dry, there's no wood. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like with you. It's like, where's the passion? Like, I wanted to slow burn this with you, but clearly you just wanted to, fan the flames and run, right? So hear me on that. You guys got this. I will say travel, Three of Wands upright. This feels like maybe you could be traveling longer distances, but this also feels like this month, possibly like a weekend getaway or just like a staycation, something. It could just be getting into nature. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Hand of God here. Something to do with travel could also affect like your finances or maybe your new career endeavors. Definitely tap in with that. You want to make sure that is like the passion project right now. I feel like that's where many of you are. You're channeling this pain in a healthy way to help others get out of these dynamics. And so keep focused on that. The 23rd, we roll into Scorpio season. Which is going to be a shift. I'm curious to see how it goes. Hopefully it's like this wish fulfillment, this healing energy, this reminder for you that you are worthy of what it is you are achieving. Forget the haters. I know many of you, your anger might not even be a past relationship. It might also be like people criticizing your spirituality or your gifts or how you're sharing with the collective. Again, stop allowing them to get into your mind and make you overthink, okay? You need to just be like, I know my truth. I know my truth, and I'm going to keep speaking my truth. And encourage others to speak their truth, even if it's different from yours. By the way, that's another thing, right? Holding space for that. Not everybody's going to want to take action towards your truth, and that's okay. They can have their truth and you can have yours. But understand that if it's not aligning, right, then we just want to pull our energy back, right? And focus on who we know we trust and can cultivate connections with. The 25th, we have the new moon and a solar eclipse occurring, again in Scorpio. And so that new moon energy is going to feel really good for you if you were able to really release with the full moon cycle, okay? And I feel like this massive rebirth in you, this feels like the last, like I feel like you've spent the last 6 months, whatever you were doing in April, right? In Aries season, March, it's culminating now in Libra season. So the question becomes, okay, how far have I come, right? And look at this. I love the King of Wands upright. We had that Queen of Wands reversed. It's like, I feel like many of you feel like you have harnessed your anger, you have harnessed sexual energy. You're really in that masculine energy of like, I know what passion really is. I know what I really want when it comes to my sex life. I know what I want when it comes to channeling any frustration or triggers. Like, I feel like you're really in that, but you're not quite seeing it yet. And you're not seeing yourself the way others see you. Does that make sense? Like, you're still doubting and questioning like all the time. And God's like, stop, just stop. You've done the work. Like, you're not, like, I just feel like this wrapped up feeling of some overthinking within you, Aries, and it doesn't really seem like a normal like loop for you. But reground, okay? Yeah. What are you overthinking? You're suddenly overthinking the past again. And these other situations or past lovers or partners or friends. And again, stop doing that, okay? You already released this. This is done. And you might be thinking about them heavily because suddenly they're thinking about you or stalking you or whatever it might be. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Full surrender here. And I know somewhere in you, you're like, I don't want to look. I don't want to know. It's okay. If you already released it, you know you don't want it. Don't. You don't have to know. We don't have to know everything. But again, the Hangman reversed. You're overthinking. Trust your crown chakra, by the way. Many of you having crown chakra activation major, big time. And stop so much. I know many of you pendulums, cards, you have other ways of kind of channeling. That's okay. But we do not want to depend fully on that. We want to embody everything. Repeating numbers, signs, synchronicities, our crown chakra, incorporating it all. And so maybe this month, especially as you travel, tapping fully back into intuition without those other tools, okay? That seems important for you. And again, the end of the month is asking you, who do you want to be and what's stopping you? And I feel like right now the only thing stopping you is you. It is you believing that you're not worthy of everything you've been achieving. Because I get it. Many of you are not getting validation. People, friends, family, lovers, it's like there's a lot of criticism. And understand that's going to be your entire life. You're not going to be validated at every turn, okay? And so let me validate you in this moment and tell you you're doing a great job. Keep going, okay? Do not communicate with those past lovers, everybody. That Eight of Wands was reversed. I love you. I'm on TikTok, and I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me there. And my website, gingermama.com with the 3 A's, has a link to book personal readings with me. I love you.